Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Cal Revs, the chest of the best. The adventurer's best friend, where you can get everything you want for just your top half off. Wow! Hi! Hello! Well, first of all, hey Butters for being there, and also hey Phasmic. Thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it. How was Pal World? I've been seeing it all over the place, and while I myself have not really expressed too much interest in the latest Mons breakout, whatever the word is for smash hit, whatever, it seems like it's fun and interesting. I hope that it was indeed fun and interesting for you. Hello, Sibby. Thank you for joining in on that raid. But yes, thank you so much for that. I hope it was a fantastic time over there. Hey Joe, hello Joe, and hello Detective, welcome. Yeah, hey guys, I apologize. Power Word is better than I thought it would be. It is very fun. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I myself, I don't know, I kind of sort of like have a on and off relationship when it comes to Mons games. So, I don't know, nothing's really tickling my fancy with that at this point in time, but as long as people are having fun, then hey, and as long as there's something to push Pokemon to be better, then that's good, if you ask me. But yes, for the raiders, I suppose I should introduce myself. My name is Calrev. I did introduce myself since we just started. But yeah, I'm Calrev, owner, operator, and proprietor of Calrev's, the chest of the best, the adventurer's best friend, where you can get everything you want for just your top half off. I am a mimic, VTuber, a shopkeeper, and full-time sweetheart. Maybe not full-time, part-time, and half-time, part-time, it doesn't matter. Tonight, as you know, we are going to be doing our creative workshop. Yes. You know how it is. You know the rules. So do I. Yes, you are full-time. Thank you, Boku. You don't get to clock out. That is just straight up like workplace abuse. But thank you guys ever so much for the enabling and support. Yes. Hey, Boku. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a fantastic time as well. But yes, guys, we're going to be doing a creative workshop for today. Also, to the raiders, I hope that you guys had a fantastic time over with Phasmic, with Power World. However, you know, don't feel pressure to stick around. If you have to step away, you know, get some food, get some rest, get some sleep, decompress, all the things that get you back to 100% by all means. Do not hesitate to do so. Thank you guys for joining in the raid, and thank you for supporting Phasmic. I hope, or if you want to join on the creative workshop, that's awesome too. Playing the new Grand Blue game, there's an Urim type character. Naruhodo ne. Nice to know that Hortensia makes her way into other places. So remember getting locked inside the shop like it was yesterday? Hey man, that one's on you. I had nothing to do with that. I was minding my own business, doing my job. You guys were the ones who were loitering. Alright? And I've told you guys on many occasions not to loiter. And what do? You still loiter. You're lucky. At this point, actually, so before we begin, well, I need to clean up a little bit here before we start. I'm just watching my creative mind doesn't exist. You say that. You should have swept the store. I have the help to take care of that, alright? And besides, if honestly the security is capable of doing that in and of itself, Mawala is capable of taking care of himself. You're just lucky that he likes you. If Mawala didn't like you guys, you would not be able to see the store open. Just bear that in mind. Anyways, I need to make some quick adjustments to the creative workshop prompt because we haven't started yet. But that reminds me, so I've been catching up. I've been finally I've been reading through like the Konosuba tabletop RPG rulebook. And it is tragically giving me ideas, and now I want to run a one-shot, and who knows, maybe it could become just like a thing. But the thing is, I just feel guilty because I'm not as familiar. While I have watched all of Konosuba, including the movies, I don't know. I feel like I don't know the backstory and the background enough to really deep dive and run a campaign. Maybe like a one-shot, or maybe a series of one-shots. I've been playing around with the idea. Of maybe just straight up having the shop is the place to go for when you want quests. You know what I'm saying? I've been playing around with that idea, but I still need to finish the rules. I still need to contact certain people about potentially participating in that thing. Yes. Hey Ra. Hello. Good evening, dear. How is it? How you doing? Yes, you did make it in time. We started late as per usual. I was struggling with some like technical issues, and again, there was also the matter of like resolving. Oh, so I figured out what it was. So I thought that I was like having to deal with some edges to the left. Yeah, of course. I thought that I was getting phone calls about my internet, right? Because like my contracts, they do contracts and stuff for this. Usually they're like several years long commitments, and I figured since they know that I'm going to be leaving soon, that they wanted blah 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 blah, etc. information to like get sorted out, right? And then I thought about it. I remember when they called, because they kept calling me until I answered, and then I answered, and then they were absolutely like decimated by my utter lack of Japanese speaking capabilities. And I remember thinking, wait a second, if they knew who they were calling, i.e. me, then they would have seen my name, and the moment they saw that it was in katakana, they would have known. They probably wouldn't have gone to the effort of calling because they would have realized my Japanese probably wasn't all there. So they probably, if they were to call, they would pick someone who can't speak English. B, they would pick someone that would speak Japanese slowly and realize that they need to do things slowly for me to understand. Or C, they would have chosen a different mode of communication altogether, such as mail or texting my phone, right? Which they hadn't done. The only time they had was to let me know that my data plan, I'd gone through my data for the entirety of the month. But that was January 31st, so that shouldn't have been a problem in the first place. And so I thought about that. I called my supervisor, whose Japanese is much better than mine, N1 level, if not N2. Well, yeah, N2 level, if not N1. And we thought about it. We were just like, did I look up the number for it? I was like, no, I did not. I looked up the number on the web. I looked at like some Japanese forums, and everyone's just like, yeah, I've been getting this phone call too. It's not from like the phone service. I was just like, oh, okay. All right, I see. And everyone's just like, yeah, they'd like bring up like this internet, like high-speed internet upgrade, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, okay, I see. So at best, I just got hit with a random advertisement and I just ended up answering like a salesman came to my door. Or at worst, someone's trying to scam people. I see what well, it's a good thing I had my Geico Kajin card ready to throw that in their face. And totally by accident, but still, nice to know that was protected. By my utter lack of advanced Japanese knowledge. Still waiting for my physical break rulebook. Shouldn't be too much longer now. Oh yeah, that wrapped up, didn't it? Well, I'm glad to hear that that's coming in for you. I wish I got like a physical copy of the Konosuba rulebook, but it's fine. It's cool. It's all right. So yeah, that was a realization that I had today. And in the end, we just decided, yeah, we don't need to call them. It's fine. Best case, like we looked on just to make sure. We even like checked like the website for like my phone, an internet provider. Nowhere was that number listed. So it was like, Yeah, I think I almost got scammed. Or who knows, maybe they had some other ulterior motive, but odds are the ulterior motive was good. But anyways, that's enough stories about me for today. How was your guys' days? Been treating you well? Just a cheeky little scam, you know? Yeah, just a little silly, funny scam. with abhorrent and dripping with malintent. But yeah, how's your days been, guys? I'm gonna make a couple of quick adjustments before we begin proper. Hit the scammers with the old "Gomena sorry nihongo janno." Janno. That I would have loved to have done that, but unfortunately, my first instinct, of course, I've been in Japan for too long. This just proves to me that I've been in Japan for too long, is that my sensibilities are distinctly just kinda sorta Japanese. Like, what was it? I had to work with that coworker that I don't like. And I was just saying a lot of stuff in my mind. They were just like constantly like talking very loudly, and then when we went to a classroom, they would like break away to go into another classroom to say hi to like a student they had helped during, I think, speech practice. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Although maybe that's not like a Japanese sensibility. It's more along the lines of like, what are you doing disturbing the peace right now? People are working on stuff. They're in the middle of class. Class has just begun for some of these places, and you're just poking your head into them, breaking away from the group when we're supposed to be heading over to a classroom as soon as freaking possible. I don't know. Boothing shenanigans. We're running out of merch to sell. I'm printing out stuff this weekend. Ooh, but it sounds like it's quite the resounding success of the merch, right? Bishop? So janai? All right, but let me just look real quick at the one word stuff. There's 80 of them. I have to make sure that sounds lucrative but chaotic. It does sound distinctly chaotic. I've never done boothing for myself. I mean, I have like tabled, but that was for just like advertising like my my club, you know, my student organizations. Not quite the same thing, you know? Then, oh wait, no, this should be commands. Oh no, my thing froze. That's not good. Oh, nope, I got it. It's just being silly funny. Commands, nope, never mind. Even this is just a bit much. All right, prompt, which is random number 80, and then save. That should do it. All right. Why don't we go ahead and get started, shall we? All right, let's begin by seeing what our prompt will be for the evening. Number 19. Number 19, tonight our prompt is interesting. Omniscient. This has a certain measure of... What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what that word means. Hang on. I'll explain. Preferably knows everything. Yeah, pretty much. Knows everything, knows all, sees all, just an all-seeing type of person. Or god, if you will. Has sort of... I don't know, I feel like it had, maybe it's just based off of like what I've like exposed my to in terms of fiction, but it kind of sort of like has a sort of like, there's a connotation of horror to it, isn't there? Or is that just me? Or just like overwhelming power? Or rather, should I say power overwhelming? Alright, so give me a second while I make a couple of adjustments. Yeah, as defined by... Wait, which dictionary is this again? Well, yes. Like cosmic horror. Yeah, there's kind of sort of like an... I personally get a cosmic horror sort of connotation from it. But maybe that's just because it's been used there all the time. Yeah, no, as defined by the dictionary, having infinite awareness, understanding, and insight. such as a narrator seems an omniscient person who tells us about the characters and their relationships, or possessed of universal or complete knowledge. For example, an omniscient god. Yes. It knows everything, even the thoughts you have about your waifus. Well, I will take no shame in that, because I assure you, omniscient god, this is, whichever it applies, the thoughts about my waifu are strictly say-so and have every right to be in any given holy text. Any given holy text, might I add. How many of your so-called followers can say the same? Anyways, omniscient. Yes, that's spelled correctly. Good. Yes. And then I will, of course, make the necessary adjustments to the... That's not the right channel. Here we go. Prompt. Omniscient. And then put that in the artist as well. So much kudasai. Omniscient? Yes, omniscient is the prompt for tonight. Surely this has, well, gonna be a tricky one, I think. I believe in you guys. You can do this. But all right, why don't we go ahead and get started, shall we? I will begin the timer in 10, 9, 8, 7. I believe you'll get it. Don't worry, Zane. And of course, don't feel too pressured. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh wait, I didn't do the thing. Whoops, hang on. I didn't do the thing. CW. Omniscient. Almost forgot. And then this. Pin to the top. Set that. There we go. That ought to do it. All right. 3, 2, 1, start. Hi, owari desu. Owari, oshimai. Pencils down. Put it down. Everyone get your stuff turned in. How we feeling? How we feeling after that one? Zane's done. Boku's done. It appears that they finished up around not too long ago, it seems. Managed to find a different interpretation I'm happy with. Naruhodo ne. Honestly, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, to be sure. But I am still quite keen on seeing. Ra, you gotta post. Well, okay, again, don't feel too pressured, guys. Remember, we're flexible with the rules. This isn't a class. You're not gonna get a 0 if you don't turn it in right now. It's fine. But you know, don't worry. Don't worry too much. All right? Don't let yourself fall into the trap about worrying about your art, which is just art. Well, I mean, it's not just art, but you know what I mean, guys. You know what I mean. But how do we feel? Do you at least feel satisfied? Butters, I get the sicky suspicion. Well, you say you're happy with it. And that's good. That's good. That's the first step. That's the very important thing, to be satisfied with it. I think I'm pretty satisfied with my own work as well. I like how this one turned out. I wish I'd allowed myself a little more time, I think. But I think, yeah, I'm happy with mine. And I hope you guys are good with yours as well. Could take it or leave it. I mean, that's fine too. Not everything has to be something it doesn't always have to be something that you're like, oh yes, this is my best work possible. That's fine. That's also cool. But also, I know a lot of you are quite keen on underselling yourself. Which I guess in some respects is respectable. It's respectable. Modesty is not a bad virtue by any way, shape, or form. Actually kind of proud of my work this week. I can't wait, Joe. I can't wait. Honestly, I have no clue what to say for this one. I did post something, but I just flooded my brain with all the thoughts that I saw. I mean, that kind of just sort of like fits with omniscience, personally. I feel like if I were omniscient, that's exactly the sort of problem that I would have. So if anything, you kind of just sort of like embodied the prompt itself rather than just worked with it. And that's something. Of course, that's me being me and being like, ah, yes, I see. So the art becomes you. How smokes pipe, how artistic. And again, that's kind of just what the workshops are all about in the first place. Just going with the first, maybe not the first thing that comes to mind, but just letting yourself roll with what you put out. Now, I'm excited to see what you guys put out this time around. All right, why don't I go ahead and start off with our writers for today. Ooh, I'm digging these entries. All right, first off, we'll start with Nug's entry for the evening. Oh, also, I'm gonna look around for something real quick. Give me a second. Need to make a couple of preparations. Mate. Ba-da-da. Give me a second. Checking up on something real quick before we begin. Oh yeah, everyone, if you were like hard at work, go ahead and get some music going, yeah? Or not music, get some water, stretch those fingers. You know, you've been hard at work, so go ahead. All right, there we go. That should do it. One thing is that this theme will constantly heavily bend towards immortality. I mean, it can. That's true. But let's see how everyone did first. So first up, we have Nug's piece. I've traveled across the world and seen enough to know. Life kept turning, but I lost my will to flow. I can't die, this much I know. Time goes on, but I have nothing to show. There's no question I can't answer and no event I haven't seen. I outlived you all, and my soul can never find peace. It may seem nice to know everything, but it's at a cost. I've lost everything I've ever loved, and it's all my fault. I drank from the fountain, and I am eternal now. I'll pass through the days thinking about dying with a frown, so I can see my loved ones again and know that they are proud. I'd trade this knowledge for just one more opportunity to die with the people who always stood next to me. Very good, very good. According to some flavor text from Nug, it's about a man who has eternal life and infinite knowledge. He outlived everyone he loved and wished he could trade his gifts away for just one more chance with the people he loved. Very, very, I mean, I get what you mean, what you guys say about like leaning towards immortality for sure. Reminds me of like a post I saw about like what life would turn out if one person hypothetically found out that they were immortal, and just the utter loneliness. Like you'd have like the high of it in the beginning, right? There's the fact that, you know, all of humanity would be like, oh, we need to study this, and you'd feel basically like a celebrity. But then the loneliness, right? The fact that you're outliving all that you know. You know, immortality always ends up being marked as being a curse in fiction and media now, doesn't it? Rarely do you find someone that is well-adjusted and healthy and immortal that is happy, right? Knowing everything and knowing that everything you ever loved is gone. Yeah, I mean, an immortal psychopath would be horrifying. Yeah, I mean, obviously. But immortality do be a curse. It's okay, Cotton. Hey, welcome to the stream. It's okay. Yeah, we started at like a while, like almost an hour and 30 minutes ago. Yeah, sorry. But I mean, if you're so inclined, you don't feel pressured to do so. Don't feel pressured to do so. But I mean, it is gonna take a while to get to. It is gonna take us a while to get to the artist portion. So don't. I mean, if you want, but don't feel pressured. All right. Did I miss it? You did. I just wrapped it up, Nug. It's a fantastic piece. I love it. Honestly, it is fascinating because we have, at least by Azur's like admission, two people that have considered the immortal, right? The immortal like angle when it comes to Omniscient, which I find very interesting. I think that's really cool. That's not where my mind went immediately, but I do. Obviously, it's easy to see like the connection between the two for sure. No worries, I'll check the VOD. Excellent. Massive stomach ache. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that, Cotton. Go ahead, if you can. I mean, you don't need me to tell you go get something to kill the stomach pain, right? Unless it's but we're gonna. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I'm sorry to hear that you're going through a stomach ache. But yes, it was fantastic, Nug. Really enjoyed that one. I love the immortality angle. Mostly with regards to the fact that I didn't like think of that immediately, even though it's so clear and it's so obvious, like now that I'm seeing it. Like if you had the ability to get as much knowledge as possible, as humanly possible, you'd have to be immortal. But like what ends up happening is that you may outlive it all as a result. Your stomach hurts a bit. Go get some food. Go get some food then. Or like relax, lay down. Maybe get like a nice little heat pack on you as well. Both are good. Sometimes having everything leads to nothing. Exactly. What do you do when you have everything? What's there to be satisfied with? So yes, once again, fantastic job. I like the flip side of omniscience and immortality too. Knowing that immortality is beyond your reach. Like you'll never... It's a very sobering thing, right? To realize that I think there, in one specific language, there is a specific word that encapsulates that knowing that all the things that you want to do, you may not ever be able to do, not just for the sheer breadth of it all. Sophisticated one was a real doozer. True, you have so much knowledge and not the time to convey or use it. Exactly, right? And you want to be able to like pass it on, right? You want to be able to teach the next generation so they don't repeat your mistakes, etc., etc., etc. But you can only reach so many people and cover so much knowledge and ground at a time before it's too late. But then at the same time, it's just, you could also take that to be like omniscience is just achieved by the sheer fact that we work around our mortality by flinging our knowledge into the future. You know what I mean? We are here and we're at this point in time. I am currently sat here before you streaming using a virtual avatar thanks to the first computer built almost a century. Nah, not almost a century, but you know what I mean, right? This is knowledge built up from the ages. It's not omniscience. A far cry from omniscience, for sure. But it's the closest approximation that we could ever really achieve is just gradually working towards it over the course of centuries. And we only have so much time before the sun blows up. So, chop chop, people. Get to it. Anyways, thanks again, Nug. Fantastic work. Fantastic piece. God bless Alan Turing. All right, next. We have Zane's submission. Quite the lengthy piece, but I'm digging it. Let's have a look-see, shall we? A witness to everything, but blind to all things. Felt every emotion, but distant from every being. Tasted every flavor, yet everything was bland. Heard every whisper, but it's fallen on deafened ears. Inhaled every scent, but it all smells the same. Knowledgeable about every aspect of the universe, but still can't solve the biggest mystery. Every year, every month, every week, every day, every hour, every minute, and every second, learning about something new and questioning something else. Is this what they mean by godhood? This constant act of knowing and questioning, is this what they meant? I hate it. But I can't do anything about it now. This is the role that I have given myself. I know how to change everything, but I don't know how to change anything. Why did I give myself this role? I do know why. It's to give everything a purpose. But what kind of purpose? And why do I give them a purpose? Because without purpose, none of this matters. But what does this even mean? It's this universe. This is the universe. The life that I have given, the stars that I have carefully placed, the planets that I gave its own gravity, the mountains that I molded, the lakes and oceans that reflects the universe back into itself so I can see its own beauty. That's it. I understand now. I still have questions. Questions I want answers to. Maybe for another time. That was pretty damn good, Zane. That was pretty... I had a lot of fun reading that one. That one explores some very deep themes for sure. Also kind of sort of has the immortality angle to it. Brilliant according to me. It was brilliant, Zane. I don't know if you're still here. Maybe you've gone in and slipped on over to another space. I completely comprehend and understand, but that, ooh, that was very good, Zane. I loved just the constant back and forth, just the constant like questioning of things, answering things, and just sort of like zeroing in on like a particular piece. You know, it's like the answer is like right there, and then it just slips through your fingers like a strand of hair or like sand. Like you think you've had it. It's like sand that you've like doused in water. It's finally taking shape, it's taking form and stuff, and you're finally like, okay, I think I get it. I finally understand. And then the thought escapes you, it dries up, and it just slips through your fingers, and you think, I'll just have to try again. Yeah, the contrasting statements at the start in particular, and it all just kind of like ends up circling back a little bit. But it doesn't feel, I guess, distressful. You know, it doesn't feel like panicked, which is a nice, I feel there's like a sort of like neutral tone to it that gives it an air of like distance and just sort of like, this is okay and this is fine at the same time, you know? There's a little bit of like the nihilist there where it's just like, there's nothing, there's no purpose. But then there's like the anti-nihilist that steps in that's just like, this is it. This is the thing that has meaning. And then it just like goes away. And that's the reality, is like sometimes you'll have the answer, and then sometimes the answer will just like completely slip away from you, and you'll get it back, it'll slip away, you'll get it back, everything in cycles, and there's nothing wrong with that. Favorite line, I know how to change everything, I don't know how to change anything. The sense of the powerlessness in that message, targeting how though you have knowledge, you still lack the key to use it. Unable to bring the change that you know how to cause, the fact that it was caused by the same sentence repeated twice. Yeah, no, it was brilliant, Zay. That was wonderful, and I enjoyed reading that very much, yes. Know everything until everything seems meaningless. Just once I'd like the world to surprise me. There's also that angle too. Yeah, like that was something that I think was touched upon by like the twin oracles from American Dragon, Jake Long. Where it's just like, if you don't know, there are two oracles in the series. One is like very like dour and gothic, and the other is like chipper, happy, manic pixie girl kind of sort of like personality, in the good sense, by the way. They're both very distinct and interesting characters because the depressed gothic one, she can only see good things in the future. Like she can only see the good things when it comes to future sight. Whereas in contrast, The chipper, bright, and like super uber happy manic pixie girl one, she only sees bad things when she uses her future sight. And so between the both of them, they have like the ability to see, in a sense, everything. But because it's like split in half, you get this sort of like a very like distinct distance or like a reaction. Because the Gothic one can only see like the good things, she never feels delight. She never feels like happiness. What's the point in being delighted about a surprise party when the surprise is immediately something you already know? She can't be happy because all the good things are like spoiled for her. So the only thing that ever comes her way and surprises her is going to be the bad things. In contrast, the chipper one, because she can only see the bad things, you can see where this is going. When the good things finally happen, it's just awesome and delightful, and suddenly there's like a light in her life. And so it just makes me wonder, like, if you had someone that did see everything, could they be happy? Could they be sad? When they know everything and they know that, they'll know that this too will pass, the bad things will give way to good, the good things will give way to bad. Like, can they be happy or can they ever be sad? And like, what's the point of it all? And then the answer will like sort of like slip away and like come and go. Fantastic work. Fantastic. All right. Next, let's move on over to Azur's piece. Knowledge of the world, yet so calm and distant. Awareness and beauty that blankets the brilliant sky, yet its arms and legs stay cold, covered with snow. Above creation, the planter, the tree of knowledge. Now, even its flowers have withered. Yet he stays, listless and unbothered. The knowledge of everything with the curse of apathy, the lack of suffering with nothing causing pain, but yet covered with a cloud colored in gray. No dreams to be seen, no souls to be read, for he already knows what will happen next. Pointless to hope, pointless to aim, for he knows that it is all going to be in vain. Perhaps knowledge is not just a weapon, but a double-edged sword tinted with malice. A blessing when wielded by the mightiest of warriors, yet a curse for the gods that watch from above. Despite it all, he rests in the void, sleeping in the outer sea, emotionless and silent in its sleep, just wishing that maybe one day it will be free. Damn, dude. Y'all really brought it today. Azur, phenomenal work. That actually kind of sort of like ties in a lot with like the oracles that I was just talking about. Like, can you feel pleasure or can you feel like depression from knowing everything when you know everything will lead into itself in the end, that good will go to bad, bad to good, good to bad, over and over and over again, and just living with it and knowing that nothing will last forever, but also knowing, not having the delight of being surprised when it finally changes for the better, usually for the better, right? Picturing a god listlessly watching the universe grow old and die inevitably, and just growing like bored with it over and over again because there's nothing anymore. There's nothing to really like do because you know everything at this point. You can't like, it's not like a book where you know how everything pans out, where you can like appreciate like the subtle storytelling because the world is random. There's no meaning. People just put meaning into it and that's what makes it fulfilling. But when you know all the meanings, what's the point? Fantastic and phenomenal work, Azur. Awareness and beauty that blankets the brilliant sky, yet its arms and legs stay cold, covered with snow. I absolutely adored that line as well. That was phenomenal, and I enjoyed reading that very much, yes. Oh, look, it's the Middle Ages again. Knight's cool, I guess. kind of got bored with it. But yes, I'm glad I started talking about the oracles. It led brilliantly into this one. This seems to be your take, your answer to would knowing all of it mean you are incapable of enjoying it or being depressed by it? And the answer, it seems, provided by you, seems to be the case. And I think it's a brilliant argument in favor of that. The target of this was Azathoth. I'm afraid I am unfamiliar with the lesser key of Solomon. I'm afraid. The blind idiot god. Interesting. Oh, look, they invented cars again. Cool. Proud of you for doing it again. Oh, gods. Imagine if they just sort of like watch like whole species rise and fall and just watch as they reinvent things over and over again that have been done before. Really goes to show that nothing's original. And they know. Oh my god, they're the worst like critic, because it's for them it's always just like it's been done before and I already know how it's gonna end because I literally know how it's gonna end. What a prick. You're a prick. All-knowing god. Got so close this time. Shame, but I already saw that coming. Like, oh. Fantastic work. Multi-dimensional copyright. That shit. Oh. But interesting. Your inspiration there, it seems. If this is like a book or a poem of this, I would love to check that out. Love how this led to a full-on tangent. Love. Listen, that's how it be with our creative workshops. But yes, getting down to the meat of the matter. Azure, I've already said it before. Fantastic and phenomenal work. Phenomenal job. Beautiful diction. Beautiful tone. I just learned about Azathoth a week ago. Oh, so this is your hyperfixation? Naruhodone. It's okay. I'm the exact same way. Not really any details. Nah. I getcha. I feel that. That's me with Changeling the Lost, which is a TTRPG of the World of Darkness variety. But yeah, phenomenal work out of our writers. I'll go ahead and do mine in a hot second here, but Nug, phenomenal interpretation for all three of you. All of you guys went towards like the immortality god route, I think, and that's just like fantastic. I love that. And you guys look at it in different ways. Nugs is just like solemn, right? Loss is felt there. Zane is just sort of like the cyclical nature of it all, right? Of just sort of like being witness to it and wondering what the point of it all is. And then with Azure, it's just like there is no point, right? Like there is no point. Growing numb even towards worldwide conflicts, that is the most depressing aspect to me, right? Yeah. Like once the apathy sets in, you know, then it's beautiful, but tragically so. But yeah, very interesting, like the tone, like the complete tonal shift between all of it, I think. Phenomenal work by our writers. All right, I'll give mine a read, and then I'll jump on over to our artists. Oh, gods. Don't want to think about it like that, jeez. All right, let me just put a mute on the chill BGM. You'll find that I went with a completely different route with you guys. You'll find that my interpretation took a completely different route. Not nearly as deep as yours is, as your guys's went. But yeah, let me just get some music going here, or ambiance. February 2nd, 1952. I've given up on escaping. Months of planning, marking the guards, the blind spots of the guard towers, smuggling items in and out of the workshop spaces, and chipping away at concrete and metal with contraband tools rusted away by our toilet water. And I just can't do it. Because I know it'll fail. When Augustine first pulled me aside, eyes darting up and down the walkway and back at the panopticon, I thought it was the perfect plan. We'd spend the year memorizing the guards' patrol cycles, the rotations, memorize every millimeter of the grounds. We'd sneak the hammers and pins out of the workshops, tie the spare bedsheets, and rappel out of the Albion prison. We'd time it around the end of winter, when it's cold enough that the guards would be drowsy and none too eager to walk the freezing concrete walkways of the prison. It took time. It took every amount of discretion and careful planning to account for every new guard, every retirement, and any time some other inmate wanted to worm their way into our plan. Honestly, I think it would have been perfect. Would have gone without a hitch. I truly believe that we would have succeeded. But there was something my instincts from my days on the streets told me. Our plan wasn't so secret. As our preparations were underway, I felt something accompanying my urgency. Something that made the adrenaline and fear of being caught feel just the slightest bit more terrifying. The feeling of being watched. Of course, I turned when I felt it. Whether it was stuffing a hammer behind the block of concrete in my cell, in the water tank of my toilet, or disposing of the rubble of my work out in the courtyard, I could feel it. Eyes on me. Somewhere I couldn't see. Clarence could have sworn during our lunches that someone else knew, but we'd shut him up. Told him that if we were found out, then surely they would have either tried to join the plan or outed us to the warden by now. But no one came. No Weasley inmate. No angry warden or guards. In fact, more and more guards started quitting. While it made our escape seem even more possible with each resignation, I thought it was strange. Even more strange was no one replaced them. When I dared to ask why, I was told it was because of the Panopticon. An ugly thing. A large tower sat in the middle of the main cell block, 8 stories tall, giving the guard who sat at the top a full view of the countless cells surrounding it. It always made me uncomfortable, crammed into the tiny cell with a guard glaring daggers from far away. Maybe not all the time, but with no escape. They only ever needed the one eye to keep a lookout was the reasoning for the fewer guards, it seemed. But something about that didn't sit well with me. I mean, just because there was one guard to see it all didn't mean he could stop any unruly behavior from his seat at the center. But even now, as I'm writing this, looking at him, whoever it is, sitting up there in the crow's necks-like top of the Panopticon, barely silhouetted by the faint lamps on the walls, I can feel him watching me. And I know that he knows. That he's known for a long time what we'd intended to do. Sometimes, I feel like if I turn away from the page to look at him, he'll just be there, in front of my cell. Sometimes I can feel him right behind me, looking over my shoulder at my shaking hand and unsteady letters. Or even staring into the back of my head and prying the thoughts from the source. It doesn't make sense, I know. I haven't brought it up with the others, but I can see it in the way that they look at that damn tower. We're not escaping. I saw Augustine hand his hammer over to a guard, saying he'd found it somewhere. They took him away, and I haven't seen him since. I used to dream, you know, about my life after escaping. I'd be on the run, sure, but I'd be free. I could go home. Beatrice and I would skip town, hop the border, start a new life. Now, I dream, and it's just my everyday. Me, in my cell, staring out at the panopticon. My eyes following the concrete up to the guard box up top. But in my dreams, there's no guard there. No rough silhouette or some nameless guard, no. There's just an eye staring right at me, daring me to do something. And I don't want to, because I don't know what else it knows, and I don't want it to know more. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, a little different. A little different from how everyone else took it. Definitely much more human form of omniscience, very much drawing from the all-seeing aspect. Yeah, I drew a lot of inspiration from my favorite podcast, Magnus Archives. But I don't know. Personally, with some nice cosmic horror undertones. Oh yeah, just maybe a little magical realism sprinkled in there, but with the inspiration, it's kind of hard to shake off the cosmic horror undertones. But yeah, I drew a lot of inspiration from Magnus Archives, and in Magnus Archives, there's this entity known as, you guessed it, the Eye. It knows you, the Ceaseless Watcher, and its power is drawn from the fear of just being watched, of your secrets being exposed, or knowledge, right? Of knowing something that would undo you. So that's what I drew upon. I was just like, okay, I can work with that. I was just like, okay, now this is kind of sort of like hurting. It knows me. Take me to dinner first. It already knows, Zane. It already knows everything about you. And that's the horrifying part about it. But yeah. So definitely, as you can see, I guess in some ways kind of sort of took like a godlike approach, just sprinkled less of the existential horror and just added just pure horror. That was amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh my god. I was trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to add to it, right? But I was like, how I wanted to like create that sense of horror, and I was just like, okay, we'll do it slowly. Subtlety is the way to go with it. But then I was just like, nah, hang on. Let's just have like one aspect where it's just like vaguely, not so vague anymore, but it's just like, oh man, life sucks for this dude. You could feel the sanity breaking down through the story. Yes, that was the goal. That was the thing that I was the most concerned about. It's just like, how do I, at what point should I break away from like him talking about the escape and just giving up the escape and just talking about like how weird this frickin' prison is. And I was just like, how weird should I make the prison, right? And in the end, I was just like, we'll just keep it like on the down low. But the effect was, oh man, I'm glad I was able to find like that slow drone, but even I struggled to like get through that with it in there. It was just like, oh, I'm feeling like this dude right now. Yeah, just slowly spiraling into accepting his fate. He just didn't want to do anything at that point. My idea was just like, I don't know what this thing knows about me. It's clearly waiting for something. Like the idea I was hoping to convey was just like, this thing is like waiting for him to do something. And at a certain point, he's just like, I don't like that anymore. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be known, and I don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm not gonna go along with this. And yeah, in the end, he just sort of like accepts that he's just not leaving. And in the end, yeah, the prison was built perfectly. All they needed was just the one guard in the end. But in the end, was it really a guard? Was it just a guard, per se? I'll leave that up to you and your interpretation. But I mean, with my inspiration, it's kind of hard to say. It's kind of hard to be like, oh, it's totally vague. Nah, it's definitely something else. But with that brings an end to our written pieces. Thank you once again to our writers in the chat and participants. Deeply loved where we went with this. I know for a couple of people there was a bit of a struggle trying to pin down what to do for it, but yeah, oof, you sent it today, and I love this one. This is probably my favorite one, I think, thus far. I think, in terms of prompts for our writers, for sure. But why don't we go ahead and have a nice little look-see doodle at our artists' contributions. Can't scroll back too far. We have quite the selection, it seems. Right off the back, let's start with our good butter toffee cookie. Ooh, I like this. Butters. This is great. Well, if someone were omniscient, they must have a galaxy brain. Not gonna deny that, but I love it. I love how you've taken it and like put it into proper perspective. And also the animation, of course, is a nice touch as well, obviously. And yeah, nice little spiral galaxy you have put in there. Also, I just want to say, it's a small thing. It's a simple thing. And like any of the artists in chat would probably be like, yeah, it's whatever, right? Can I just real quickly just express a deep appreciation for the spiral effect that you have created? Whether you used a tool or not is besides the point. Point is, I like how it looks, all right? I like the way that the spiral looks. I love that it's swirling in a nice, not necessarily consistent manner, but it looks right. You know, every single time I've drawn a spiral, whether it is with a tool or not, it is always just kind of sort of like meh and gross. But I just want to say I appreciate the spiraling effect with this one. The different brush uses are perfect to express. Yeah, I was also thinking that as well. Actually like how this looks, a black hole almost. Made various different sparkles and swirls. It's a fantastically executed. Yeah, I love how it's just phenomenal and great. And, well, to be fair, Zur, galaxies are all centered around supermassive black holes in the first place. So, it's not too far-fetched to say that it's almost black hole-like. But, you know, galaxy brain kind of sort of ties in pretty well with, like, our all the other written works, you know? Don't worry, I know. I'm sorry. Okay, good. I didn't want to seem like I was being like, actually, I didn't want to come off as that much. Rose jawline, not too bad, too. Excellently executed, Butters. Again, galaxy brain, omniscience. Not hard to see the connection. Yeah, and again, just a firm appreciation, of course, for the animation, the swirling effect, and I just love how you do stars in general. Whenever you do like skyscapes, it always ends up being a phenomenal like skyscape. Phenomenally done. You're really good at that. Coming from a non-artist, take that as you will, but I think you do skyscapes, nightscapes very well, Butters. This kind of makes me think of the opposite black holes, the hypothetical white holes almost. I can see that. It's really pleasing, not too bright, not too off. Yeah, it just has that faint outer glow going for it, which is good and fantastic for its purposes. I'd have liked to have more frames, but it's not worth the 200 plus pounds for the upgraded version just for that. You say that now, but you know, fast forward maybe a couple more workshops and you're just like, I feel like doing just straight up animating stuff for profit. So who knows, you may change your mind. Remember, think of it this way, Butters, think of it this way. Remember, in video games with like a narrative, JRPGs with like cutscenes and stuff, a lot of work and effort and time and money can go into just a single frame that is only ever going to be seen once, right? Just once. Sometimes, who knows? Maybe you feel like it might be worth it. You never know. Uncapped frame rate limit is literally the only extra feature I care about. Oh, you can't just like get that by itself, I see. Naruhodo ne. Yeah. No, That's fair. That is also a completely valid take. But yes, phenomenal work, Butters. Next up, we have Boku with some... Ooh, someone went the... And it's animated, and it has text. Whoa, holy shoot. Be used once, not to mention that it will be covered by the VFX team. Exactly, right? But oh my goodness, get a load of our pixel artist Boku taking also the eye approach that I did as well, but also just adding, ooh, at that moment I saw nothing and everything. That's a quote from something. Isn't that a quote from something? What is that a quote from? It sounds vaguely familiar, but like, let's just go ahead and ignore that and just focus instead on just the phenomenal work of our pixel artist. Look at this. The dude added gradients and everything to it. Just adding a nice little, just like cosmic background as well. Look, another person that has taken the cosmic horror angle. I see. Very good, very good. I'm just the eye is great. Obviously, you see the omniscience. Of course, it's the cosmic horror, which you know me. I'm into that stuff. Imagine looking up to the sky and realizing that the sky is freaking blinking. Horrifying, right? But again, it's the background. The background itself is just so phenomenally done, Boku. You have really honed your pixel art craft at this point in time, dude. If you're not proud of yourself, I urge you to start being proud of yourself because this is phenomenal. Appreciated the background without really thinking about it. The colors and the patterns are spot on. They're nice contrast coming from a non-artist. Nice contrasting colors. They go well together. Both kind of sort of cool, bleeding into each other. Just in general, a nice gradient in and of itself, and it just adds to the mystique and cosmic horror that is a giant freaking eye in the sky looking at you. As a space enthusiast, I love all the space depictions. I mean, yeah. What else is there to say? Kudos to our galaxy approaches for these two. Phenomenal. I'm just overwhelmed by how good this is. The background is just so good. I know, obviously the eye is the most, like, is the point of focus, but, like, I can't get over how well you made the background look. Boku, you literally could do pixel art for video games at this point, and I'm not even kidding. The gradient in the iris is great. It adds to, like, the void-esque nature. It adds to like the cosmic horror, just the sheer like not deep purple, but you know what I mean. Like the shade of purple creates like this feeling of void, like you're going to get sucked into the gaze of this eye, you know? And that's not even the only thing that's like has like a nice little gradient too. Gods. Boku, I don't know if you're listening, but phenomenal work. Phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. Wow. Just wow. I feel guilty. I feel guilty because here it is. It's just like on my channel, sat within my like Discord for no one else to, no one except you guys to see and appreciate, and whoever dares to watch the VODs when I post it on the channel. Like, the white of the eye also has a great, yeah, exactly, right? Sorry, I'm deaf. I can't fix that, buddy. I just feel guilty. You did such a fantastic job, and it's just gonna sit in my Discord server. You better post this. Post this somewhere else, Boku, right? Just post it somewhere else. For my sake, and your sake, alright? Just please, I beg of you. This is too good to just... It's advertising, for one thing, but like, just share it. I feel bad, because it looks great, it looks amazing, it's phenomenal, and yet it's just like... in my Discord. It's just gonna be in my this applies to all of you guys. This obviously applies to all of you guys when it comes to your work, like your artwork, your written works. I feel bad, right? Because like, yeah, it's our workshops, right? And maybe you want to refine it in some way, shape, or form. You want to improve on any given piece. that's your prerogative, but I just feel bad because you guys put out this fantastic, phenomenal stuff and it just sits there in my Discord. You guys, post it places. Post it places. But the blank animation is so off, then just add that as a caption when you post it. It's fine. It's modesty, sure, but you have other things in this piece to be proud of. God dang it, guys. Still don't know where to even post these. I mean, that's fair. That's fair when it comes. Hold on to that feeling, Kel. There's more gems to come. I'm excited. I'm excited. Don't get me wrong, but that feeling, it's seeing this has made me realize just how guilty I feel that it all just sits in just this Discord server. You know, like if something were to happen, if a bad actor suddenly just like reports the server and like whatever asshole is in charge is just like, yeah, sure, whatever, it's VTuber, so it's cringe, so you could nuke the entire thing, then it's just gonna be lost and we can't appreciate it. Post your stuff, guys. Post your stuff places. I know it's hard. I think there is a place that you could post it, Zane. I have reason to believe that there is a place to post like written works specifically that people like to see it, like people flock to, but I don't remember where it was. I will look into that, and I will say where it is next workshop. I promise. Reminder to self: all these creative works just sitting in the shop. Like I feel like I feel like a hoarder, just like amassing all this stuff, and it's great. It's awesome. I get to see your stuff, right? And I get to appreciate it. But I feel like one of those like fairy lords from Changeling the Lost who just collect humans because they can't feel. Now, of course, that's not true. Obviously, I create my own stuff as well. But still, it just your guys' stuff is too good to leave it languishing in a vault. What amounts to a vault that anyone can go in and see, but like, guys. And then there's your entries that don't even enter the shop. I mean, it's my content and I'm constantly making content. Don't worry. I promise I'm going to record them and put them on my channel. Re-record them. Polish them up. What have you. I promise, okay? I promise. I just need to remind myself to do that. I forget these things, okay? Next up, we have Joe's piece. Joe has demonstrated a lot of pride in this one, and I want to see it. I want to... I'm speechless. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know what to expect, and I just got completely flashbanged by this one, Joe. I'm not mad. I'm not disappointed. I'm just sitting here wondering why. I'm just wondering why. Biblically accurate Kelrev. Absolute peak, you guys. I mean, if we take a second to step back and appreciate, just like, yes, Joe, phenomenal artwork. I love first of all, I love the attention to detail with regards to the textures, or like blending colors, what have you, and just sort of like making it have like a texture to it, right? Or and stuff. I love the clouds. The clouds are phenomenal. I love the misty effect that you have created. Hands, obviously, any artists that I've talked to always complain about hands, right? I love the chalky effect. I love that the keyhole is changed to be an eye. That's phenomenal. That's fantastic. But again, now that we have taken the time to appreciate the artistic, you know, the artistry of it all, I just have to wonder why? Because it's the truth. And there's that one all-seeing eye that went so far. 5-star poll on the Kelrev gotcha game. Oh my god. I really should just sort of like take all your guys' artwork and just like make like custom cards and stuff. Or just like custom, not custom splash art, but just like chest in impact. Can you imagine? It's just like, I know all. The chest sees all. Kel with his eye and hands are spot on. The clouds look amazing in that halo of lights. This is the true form of me. This form that you see is merely a vessel to carry the true all-seeing God, the all-seeing shop God. I should make this a security poster. I should make this like, just like have this as like the security you know, when you ever you go into a store, right? And it just says smile, you're on camera. This is that poster for the shop. This is the poster for the chest of the best. Kel sees all, Kel knows all, and for a price I'll tell all. New banner. This is either the security poster, or it's like when I stop, like this is the poster for when I stop stop VTubing and and become a stage magician, right? The peeking chest. Oh god, the chest of the best, where you can get everything you want to know for a price. I see in your future great disaster. You'll have to buy this 500,000 USD necklace if you want to ward off calamity. Cash or check. We take Visa and MasterCard and JCB because I know it's troublesome for those who have JCB. Phenomenal work, Joe. Again, I don't comprehend your inspiration, but I will question nothing. Gaslighting. Your future's looking good. If Kel ran a church instead of a shop. Oh my god. Have I told you how many times people have told me? I don't understand this. In some ways, maybe it's kind of sort of come true just by virtue of becoming a streamer. But I've been told so many times, people are just like, Kel, I think you could be in charge of a church. I'm like, what? I was like, I don't know. You give off the vibe of someone that could like you could be either like the pastor at my local church, a youth group leader, or just straight up a cult leader. And I'm like, hold on, whoa, wait a second. Why do you think that? Just like, I don't know. You seem like a cult leader type of person. I was like, that doesn't feel like a compliment. Your future, it says you're going to buy something in my shop. Yes, if you want to avoid disaster. You're always my inspiration. Oh my god. You're exaggerating, but thank you, Joe. Still leads me to question this, but I won't question the artistry of it because it is phenomenally well done. As always, Joe, you have every right to be proud of this, even if I question it. Divinations, $5. Positive divinations, 20. Just straight up zero, just like blatant scam work. I see how you guys view me. Not that I didn't portray that for myself, but that's besides the point. $500 extra fee if you want Cal to not tell the other person who cursed it. Oh, I love that so much. Our magnum opus. That implies that you... Yeah, okay. All right. Anyways. I love it. Again. Feel free to post this. I was gonna say, like, artistry-wise, it's phenomenal, and it's great, and it's wonderful. I was about to be like, please post it. Again, guys. Post your work so people could see that you put this kind of stuff out. All right? But at the same time, this is just one of those... You can post it, right? You can post this, Joe, other places and show off your artistry. I'm not saying don't do that, but like, I'm gonna feel weird. I should have like a fan art tag on Twitter, huh? I'll figure that out eventually. Chest pics? No, that's weird. Forget I said that. I didn't say that. That's not the art tag. That's not the fan art tag. All right? Shut up. And last but certainly not least, we have Mitri. Let's see. Side eyes. Let's see what we got. Context. The Geo Archon knows too much. I'll post everything, even the one of you in the tub. Now that's just rude. Ah, naruhodo, naruhodo. I see, I see. Unfortunately, I am unfamiliar with Genshin lore. So please, if you could, Ra, could you explain? You wouldn't know. Yeah, I figured I wouldn't know, but still, could you do me the honor of explaining? Also, hey, Reeve. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. I hope the work week treated you right. Hope the work week at least treated you right. Yes. You should print a 5x5 foot of Joe's piece and put it above your bed. I honestly might legitimately like print some of you guys' work. Not gonna lie. Would could see making it a poster and like putting it someplace. For sure. But as much as I love Joe's piece, above my bed, that feels, I don't know about that one, Chief. But yes, Ra, if you could explain. There's this war that happened with all the Archons. Okay. Continue to explain. How's it going? It's going good, Reeve. It's going good. It's been a phenomenal, like, night for, like, our creative workshop. Everyone really freaking sent it today. I love what everyone did tonight. I need to make sure that I save the VOD and I upload the VOD. It was phenomenal and fantastic. I loved it. I loved it. I feel like Geo Archon would be Kel's patron saint. He's the one who prints the money. Oh, that's this guy. This is the guy that completely like tanks the economy because he becomes like, you know, human, quote unquote. He's not making money anymore, therefore rendering it in an inert currency that is also used for magic and alchemy, and therefore a finite resource. That's the only thing I know. Thank Game Theory for that, by the way. Matt Pat. May he rest in retirement. Peacefully. Can I still send mine? Yeah, you can totally send yours, Con. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. And during said war, the nation of Conaria and Traveler wanted to know more about it, so naturally asks an Archon, but he's bound by a contract and can't say anything. So he knows secrets, huh? He knows everything, but for some reason someone somewhere out there has bound him magically to not reveal the secrets. Curious. I do have to admit, the lore of Genshin has like piqued my interest every now and then whenever I, bother to listen to whatever it's all about. But not enough to get me to play it and like fully get invested. It's like League. It's like League lore for me. Like I'll never touch League ever again. But like whatever is happening on with like the lore behind certain characters, that's said like gonorrhea. Oh, sorry. I said gonorrhea. I'm sorry. It's the difference between a voiced consonant and an unvoiced one. Leave me alone. I didn't mean it to be disparaging or whatever the word is. Is fine. Nah, not forgiven. Give him a break. He doesn't Genshin. I don't Genshin. Nah. Not forgiven. Break his legs. I'm gonna tell you guys something, all right? I may have the physique of a withered stick about to be thrown into a fire, but my legs are completely different. Are a completely different question. Although, I've told you guys about like shattering my kneecaps, right? We don't have to get into the shattering kneecaps. It always ends up starting like a whole like conversation and discussion and debate where chat is wrong and I'm right again, as usual. But yes, the God of Contracts doesn't break contracts. Ah, that's only fair. Yeah, I can only imagine that would be a very, very... I wonder, do they explore like the consequences? The magical consequences? One thing that reminds me of just like... of like Changeling the Lost. I can't believe I've mentioned Changeling the Lost 3 times on this channel, but like, yeah. In Changeling the Lost, promises are very important things. You don't just make a promise, especially to those born of Arcadia, the Hedge, or any Fey creature in general, because you just don't make a promise that you can't keep, because the Hedge, the Hedge will always, the word will always collect. All right. No wonder it looks weird. What do you mean? No wonder it looks weird. It looks fantastic to me. I forgot he wore gloves. We'll just say that he's wearing flesh-colored gloves. It's fine. We can change. We can change the narrative. It's fan fiction. It's fine. Anything's possible with fan fiction. Workshop stream without Kel mentioning Changeling or Magnus Archives challenge impossible. I haven't mentioned Changeling in a long time, okay? But there was a time that I was hyperfixated, and it just sort of like leaked into all my entries. There's no getting around that. His hands aren't that color either. His arms are like cracked rocks. Like, is that a metaphor for saying that he's like ripped? Or is that like... Are you speaking literally? No? Okay, I see. Naruhodo. And anyways, either way, regardless of whether the gloves are there or not, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Let's move on to our next piece. We have Cotton, who managed to get a piece for us here. While we have a nice little looksy doodle. He's made of concrete. Concrete is not stone per se. It's a amalgamation of stone. A conglomerate. Yeah. No, there's a word for it. Either way. So, walk me behind the lore behind this one, Cotton. If you're still there. If you're still there to explain. Let's see. They gave me power and knowledge. The judges will see. But it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? This is the... Ooh, I wanted to color more, but my time was ticking. I mean, yeah, we're almost gonna wrap up. But it's funny that you should say knowledge is a double-edged sword, because that's not literally someone else in the writer's portion, in the writing workshop. They also took the angle of like knowledge being a double-edged sword. I mean, it's not a unique take, not by any means, but it shows that you guys are all on the same wavelength, and you've managed to go ahead and put it into shape and form. So yeah, give us the flavor text, give us the lore here. Love all the swirls in this. They have a nice swooshy look. There is something ephemeral about it, right? I love, well, first of all, I love that this, once again, we have another person that is taken to interpreting it as eyes, right? And such. I have to lurk now. Have a wonderful rest of stream. All good. We're going to wrap up in a bit here anyways. This is how she gets her knowledge, but she also has a price to pay. Ooh, that's fair. That's fair. There's always a price, right? There's always a price. Have you decided the price? Is my question. Ooh. But yes, I just go ahead and express like a deep appreciation for the fact that you have also taken the approach of having the eye motif for Omniscience. It's a very simple and easy one, but it shows that we're on the same wavelength. Pretty cool, pretty neat. I love the whoosh effect, just like Butters pointed out. There is an ephemeral nature to it. Makes it seem like they're far more than what they seem. Ooh. But the question is, what is the price, right? What is the price for knowledge? What do you lose, right? With regards to Magnus Archives, take a shot. Like, the fear of knowledge is the fact that you're going to find knowledge that undoes you, right? It's like if you have suspicions of someone cheating on you and you decide to seek out that knowledge and confirm it for yourself, with the very real possibility that that is true, right? But what is that? Surely it's not something as abstract as that, is it? The eyes are the judges, and who knows, maybe she corrupted a friend of hers for the knowledge to pay. Ooh. What would be the equivalent exchange for knowledge? What would something ephemeral, what would the judges think is an equivalent payment and price for the knowledge you seek? Is it dependent on how trivial the knowledge is? Or how important the knowledge is, or how valuable it is, or the for the weight of the details involved for it. A filled page of knowledge out of my book for a blank page out of your future. Ooh, that's pretty heavy. Ooh, that's pretty heavy. Ooh, I like that. That kind of gives me like Faustian like vibes a little bit, right? Like, you know, what was it? I don't remember how the whole story goes, but like didn't like Faust like make a like deal with Mephisto to like live forever until he was like fully happy, but what he wanted was like knowledge and stuff, and then eventually he like started like gathering stuff and blah 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 blah. I never fully read it. There was only a snippet of it in my high school textbook, and we only read like a small portion of it. I would have loved dearly to read the entire thing, but I did not. That's for another artwork, depending on what the topic is later. Ooh, I love that you're doing what I wish I was doing with our creative workshops, which is like sneaking in lore with each subsequent like workshop. I keep wanting to do that, but I always worry that I'll lose my train of thought with my current piece, so I haven't done that. So I like that at least one of us is doing that, and I hope that the workshops really are helping with your world building and storytelling and such. And it's always exciting for sure to see what you do with it. Just remember to stay consistent and remember your work. That's always important, just in general. But yeah, I think with that covers everyone. That takes care of all the entries for the creative workshop. Once again, guys, to all of our entrants, to all those who participated, and yeah. Thank you for participating. Writers, you really freaking sent it, did a phenomenal job, covered a lot of like deep topics. Good golly gods. Artists, of course, really pulled it all together. I know that it was a struggle at the beginning, but you guys really pulled through this time when the chips were down. This prompt turned out amazingly. Everyone pulled out something incredible. I mean, you guys always pull out something incredible. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Feel free to be honest if you insist, but I will insist that you guys do phenomenal work. Tried to make something original, but man, what do you mean? Okay, first of all, again, I will remind everyone, don't worry about being original. Just be you, because you are original. All right? Don't worry about originality. Just focus on your mind and what you put out, all right? Because what you guys put out, I will remind you guys, the artist is the art. Don't you ever forget that, all right? And you are original, unique, with a very unique spin and interpretation of things. It might vibe really well with what others put out, but what you put out, that's what's important. Never forget that. And again, thank you guys. I'm glad we were able to have the workshop tonight. I was worried that we wouldn't, but we were able to. And I'm glad because, again, freaking nailed it, you guys. Freaking nailed it. I really hope... I'm using this audio for the first time, I think, for our creative workshops. So I hope that it doesn't result in, like, portions of it being muted. We'll see. But... This is the one that I really, really want to put on the VOD channel, for sure. The artist is the art. I'm a cookie, a cute girl, and occasionally space. I mean, okay, don't get smart with me. Anyways, thank you guys for participating. Thanks to those of you who joined in and watched from, and, lurked, as it were, and appreciated the art alongside the rest of us. But it's high time I sent you guys off, wouldn't you agree? Question is, where to? I would like to send you guys towards someone who is doing actual art, especially considering we had artists actually raid in here. So, let me see. Thank goodness. Got several people who are working on art. And they're not doing anything sussy. That's great and fantastic. Let me see what this person... They seem chill. Hold on, I will send you guys to this person, I think. Sagashiteiru. Maybe not. Not an English speaker. Maybe not an English speaker. Thanks for the stream. Thanks for being here, guys. As always, thank you guys for being here. And to those of you watching the VOD, who participated, thank you for participating. And for those of you who are just watching the VOD for shits and giggles, don't hesitate to join us on for our creative workshops for Fridays, 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. JST. Maybe we'll move it to 6:30 p.m. JST, just because it's a little more manageable. We'll see. But yes, I think I will be sending you guys on over to Toma. Yeah, Toma. We'll send you guys over to Toma. We've rated them before. They're pretty cool. They're pretty chill. It seems like they are doing art for their D&D character, which right now they're on their character sheet, so we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, that appears to be the case. I'll send you guys over there. A hug for the VOD watchers. A hug for the VOD watchers, indeed. All right, so I'm gonna send you guys on over to. That's how you spell it, right? Nope, that's not how you spell it. Let me fix that. ちょっと待って、少々お待ちください. And there we go. We're raiding out. Here is the raid message, I think, for those of you who are subbed. Yes, there we go. And then, oopsie. I need to copy it as well. And then here is the raid message for those of you who are not subbed. Yes, please? Question mark? There we go. There it is. All right. But yes, thank you guys so much for popping in, hanging out, being you beautiful selves. Deeply appreciated. With that being said, shops closed. Get out. Also, once again, I will not be putting out a schedule for the upcoming week, just because it seems like I do better when I keep it to myself. So yeah. All right, shop's out, closed. Get out. Bye.